Hey everybody, and welcome to this unboxing video, I guess. Unboxing and kind of look at. I decided to purchase a new mouse. And the reason for that, well, there's a few different reasons. Number one, I really like the mouse I currently have, which is this one here, the Logitech G703. But I found that it was not quite ergonomical enough. It's like a very kind of straight kind of design on it. It's wireless though, which is quite nice. But it does also become a pain sometimes when that battery runs out a little bit. So this is actually kind of designed to work with a kind of a charging mouse mat, the Lightspeed charging mouse mat, but that's like another £100 and I just couldn't justify that. So yeah, I've had it for I think maybe 2 or 3 years now, and I figured it was time to kind of upgrade. The other thing with it is it's being wireless, it is a little bit heavier for you, and yeah, I decided to go with something a little bit different. I also had to buy a new mouse at some point because my girlfriend is currently, well, her job means that she can work from home. When we're moving house, she's going to have her own kind of space and office set up, and like she's using like a cheap kind of Logitech mouse now and keyboard, which has to go back to her office when her new office. So I was like, well, if I get a new mouse, then she definitely wanted a wireless mouse, and she wants something which looks fairly, professional in the sense that she didn't want something kind of wild, whereas I obviously wanted something a little bit crazier. And so I'm going to give her my older mouse because it's perfect for kind of day-to-day use and stuff like that. And then I'm going to be using the XTRFY M4 RGB ultralight gaming mouse. So yeah, XTRFY are a Swedish company. They make the M4. As you can see, it's one of these kind of ultralight mice designs with the kind of cutout holes. And yeah, I like the look of it. I wanted to use something slightly lighter. I appreciate it means losing wireless, and I think the wireless on the G703 is very, very good. I've not noticed any lag whatsoever when gaming. I will say I'm not really a massive first person gamer, but it's been spot on in that respect. But what I did think was actually when I have my new setup, I don't need a wireless mouse in reality. And yeah, this was quite expensive when I got it. I don't think they're as expensive now. It's maybe like £50 now. This cost me 45, I believe. The XTRFY. They do a blue as well, like a kind of light blue, which was also, I was tempted by the blue, and they also do a retro one, which looks quite cool. It's kind of like the kind of grey with kind of red buttons on it, and it does actually look really good. I have a bit more of a colourful setup, but if I didn't, then I would have gone for the retro look one. It is very nice. So it says on the side here, should probably get that focus, ultralight construction, ergonomic right-handed shape, pro-grade components, whatever that means. XTRFY are a Swedish company. It's designed in Sweden. The IKEA of mice, basically. There's a nice picture of it on the side there to give you a kind of size. We'll have a look at the size comparison and everything with the G703. On the back here, you can see it's got the kind of dimensions of the mouse on the back there. It says lightweight construction, state-of-the-art components, unique right-handed shape. The M4 takes performance, feel and durability of lightweight gaming mice to the next level. There's a slightly smaller text I need to read. So it's got the Pixar 3389 optical gaming sensor, which what I believe is like pretty much one of the best sort of gaming sensors you can get. You've got the sorry if the focus is going in and out on the webcam. Adjustable RGB illumination, which we all know is the most important factor in anything. Its weight is 71 grams, excluding the cable. It has Omron switches, which can be used up to 20 million times. So unless you play that like cookie clicker game, you're probably not going to use that. It's got a 1.8 meter cable, which is plenty long enough, I think. UV coated surface, PTFE glides, and a polling rate. So it has the DPI button or CPI button between 400 and 1600, and a polling rate switch between 125, 500, 1000 hertz. And what I believe as well with this mouse, we'll find out, is that it's pretty much like click and go, as in it. You plug it in, you go. And I don't think there's software you have to download to play with the RGB and stuff, which is also something that attracted me to it, because there's nothing more annoying than having to get download all this different software for different things. Like the Logitech one, obviously I had to do. I've had a Razer mouse in the past. I had a Death Adder and had to do the same. That Razer Death Adder actually is the only mouse that I've ever had that has broken on me, ever. As I said, I've had this for twice as long as the Razer Death Adder, and it didn't break. I'm not saying that I just wasn't unlucky, as some people will probably have had a Razer Death Adder for a long time, but yeah, I don't know. It seems a little dodgy to me. I think this should just kind of come out of here fairly easily. He says. Try to keep it all go. So yeah, my girlfriend's quite excited that she gets to have my old mouse, because she's used it before and she does like it. So I am thinking that that was kind of like the best way to go, because she wanted wireless, and a good kind of wireless office mouse is going to cost you at least the same as this. So I was like, instead of her getting a new mouse, I think I'll get a new mouse. Why not? He says, as he can't even get the box open. Hang on, we might have to kind of wedge this out a little bit. But yeah, the Logitech G703 has done me. Here we go. I wedged it out a little bit. It's done me really well over the years. I have no problem with it. You know, it's a little wireless dongle you plug in, and you're away. Basically, the software you download does it. I've got it so that it will. They gave me some keyboard buttons as well. Oh, actually, it's quite nice inside the box. Actually, you can just about make out it's like a foam insert to kind of protect it. That's quite nice, and it's quite a rigid, sturdy box as well. So here you can see it. It's actually quite a darker pink than this camera shows. I will say that much. It is very, very pink. I like that. My keyboard, which you can actually just see down here, is kind of pink and yellow. It has the sunset towel keys on it. You can kind of see it in the background there a little bit. So it kind of matches up with that, which is what the effect I was going for. You might be like, why is your keyboard not on a desk? Because I don't have one currently. I'm still waiting to move house to get everything set up. So yeah, but yeah, it comes in this really nice box actually on there. So you get, by the looks of it, a couple of little keycaps, which is awesome. I might use them on my thing. I wonder if they look double shot as well. There's a GG key, which is quite cool. If you had that set up on your keyboard as a macro, that would be pretty cool. I don't know if you can kind of make that out there, GG. And the other one is XTRFY. Nice pinky. It goes quite well as my escape key actually on my keyboard. I've actually been looking at the kind of custom keys. There's a company called Dwarf Factory who make them just the most exquisite. Like they're super expensive, like $30 for a single key, but they are just amazing. So yeah, and we have the mouse itself. Just take it out of the box. All the packaging. We can have a look and see. I am no professional reviewer, as most of you well know. You know, I did watch a review of this from what is it, Ninja Rocket Jump or whatever his name is, the guy who really reviews all the mice. He's a bit of a legend, but yeah, and he really liked it. The only thing he said he didn't like was the fact that it's not a straightforward design. So from his mind, he couldn't necessarily recommend it to people, because the shape of it is you're gonna love it or kind of hate it. Well, I think most majority of people will love it, but some people might hate it. I like it a lot. I've had a mouse with this kind of shape before, which is why I knew I would like it. So it's definitely right-handed. If you're lefty, it's not going to be comfortable at all. It's going to be really awkward to get those keys and stuff. It's very lightweight. So if I compare it, I would say, I'll look up actually. Let me just Google. I should have done it before. Let me just Google the weight of the G703. G703 weight. There's a significant difference in weight. So it's 106 grams apparently, and you can put an extra weight in it with an optional extra 10 grams in it, so it could be like 110 grams. So yeah, it's not like, oh, I can barely lift it or anything like that, but when you compare it, it's like very, very noticeable, the difference. And I did want a nice light mouse as well. So yeah, what can we kind of say about it, I guess? So scroll wheel here, definitely very similar to 703. Maybe feels a little bit more so you get the kind of clicks on the scroll wheel as you go through. It's definitely not a free spinny one. I know you can get some of those like that. The G703 has a slightly lighter I don't want to it's the kind of the little feedback you get from it. It's a little bit light on the G703, but that could also be because I've had it for years and scrolled on it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's cool. Otherwise, same amount of kind of buttons here. We've got 2 on the side, and you've got your kind of changer, DPI changer here. Scroll wheel is obviously a button. Got your left and right click on there as well. So yeah, you've got these ultra glide pads on here. This isn't a mouse pad I'm actually using on here, so let's actually grab my mouse pad, because we'll actually be able to kind of test how it glides on here. So the G703, I would say it has a fairly, because of the weight, it doesn't glide that well. I've never really felt like I've had too much of a problem with it, but you do kind of notice that it is a little bit heavier. So if you are doing a lot of kind of big movements or first person stuff, it can be a little bit heavier, but for day-to-day use, like, no problem whatsoever. The XTRFY, yeah, obviously lighter. There's a lot more of a glide on there than what you get with the 703 there, that I've noticed. Obviously I've kind of picked up the cable, but on there, a lovely pink cable as well. I think it feels like a really nice quality. It's not stiff in any way. It's very, very pliable, very bendable. Yeah, kind of comes out, and it's a little bit raised as well. If you can just see on the front there, you can see it just goes up a little bit, I guess, just to keep it out of the way of the mouse, which is a nice little touch there. It's got a DPI sensor on the bottom as well, and yeah, it's nice. And the little toggle switch on the bottom there, as well as the polling rate switch. By default, it's set to 1000 Hertz. I don't know much about polling rates and why you'd want to change that. I'm sure there's a very good reason why some people do it. I don't think I will. It's got quite a hefty little USB number on it, though. I will say that much. I don't know why that is the case. It's branded XTRFY. Yeah, interesting. That doesn't really worry me. I'll be plugging it into the back of my PC, but if you're somebody who maybe wants it plugged into your front I/O for whatever reason, or into a USB hub or something like that, and maybe there's not a huge amount of clearance or something, then bear that in mind. It isn't a small USB adapter or plug, I guess, and it's not obviously a replaceable cable on there. The G703 comes with a cable. I'll show you, actually, it's just here. He says that it comes with a charging cable, which has this kind of almost, it looks like a peripheral, but it looks like a one of those kind of adapters that they've kind of done so that you can't buy a separate cable, but it isn't. It just sticks in with the side prongs a little bit, but you don't have to have them. So you could replace this with a different cable, but there is a stark difference in these cables. This is a lot softer. This is that kind of very solid braided cable. There's nowhere near as flexible. This is actually a very nice cable, very flexible, but feels very strong still, very soft. Yeah, but then again, the Logitech is not really meant to be used with a cable. It's a charging cable more than anything. You can obviously still use it while it's charging, but yeah, it's just something to I guess consider. So yeah, very light to use. Really like the design, the pink. As I said, it's a little bit washed out here, so I do apologise. My webcam's not the greatest setup with like uneven lighting and stuff like that, so it's a lot darker pink than you can actually see here. Like a real kind of I don't know what colour shade of pink you would call it, actually, but it's not as light as like a bubblegum pink. Yeah, let's actually plug it in. So let's unplug my Logitech, and then we'll actually be able to see. Oh, okay, it's got like yeah, it's a really nice cable, actually. I like that a lot. How do we get the plastic thing off the cable? Do we actually have to like cut it off? That's interesting. So I don't see how it comes off otherwise, unless you can get it all the way down to the end and then do it from there. Okay, so the sleeving on the cable, I think the reason why it feels a lot softer is it's not tight against the, or certainly in parts, it's not tight against the actual cables inside, which is interesting. Yeah, you might actually have to cut off the rubber bit, as far as I can kind of tell. If you can't, you obviously can't see, but yeah, it's got this like rubber cable tie on it, and I think you have to actually cut that off in order to, if you don't want it on there, like it doesn't just come off, which is interesting. I don't need it for anything, so I am going to cut it off, but I don't know if that's annoying to some people. And I mean, it just cut easily off. It's not, yeah, not a problem. So let's unplug the Logitech and let's plug in the XTRFY, and we'll be able to see some of that sweet RGB. So Windows is saying now it's setting up device. It's defaulted to a kind of rainbow RGB. You can kind of, I don't know if I can, you can kind of see it going through there. There's an XTRFY logo in there as well, kind of like underneath, which is kind of cool. I mean, realistically, that doesn't really matter. You're not seeing any of that. I mean, RGB on mice doesn't really matter anyway, does it? Like, I can get the keyboard behind the keyboard lighting because you can get it to help you, if you're in a dark room, whatever, see the keys better or whatever. But mouse lighting is clearly just for effect, but it's actually a really nice effect on there. Again, my webcam's a bit shitty, so you won't really be able to get it in all its glory, but it does look pretty nice, actually. It's a good effect on there. I think you can change it with this button. Yep, so there's a solid yellow now. It's gone to a solid red, and then it's kind of like a pulsing yellow, pulsing green, going into blue, going into white, going into yellow, going into blue, pink, purple. Now that's like a kind of wave of rainbow. That's off, so you can turn it off. And then we've got the kind of breathing yellow by the looks of it. That seems like that's off again. I like the rainbow, I'll be honest with you. It's quite nice. Just to have that going around. It's quite nice and smooth. You can't see the individual LEDs or anything like that, so it looks really nice. And yeah, no bloatware, anything like that. Yeah, very nice to use, actually, very smooth. Looking at it, it just feels actually very different using this mouse. You wouldn't think sometimes that mice are such a different thing, really, would you? Yeah, it's really interesting. It feels very light and very quick, but nice and precise though. Actually, kind of moving this around, you can't see my cursor, so it doesn't really kind of work out that well. But yeah, it's nice actually. I guess you could actually, if we go to the second one, here you go. You can see. I don't think there's anything in this like video footage that you can tell there's like different. There's going to be different between the two mice, but it does feel nice and smooth actually on there. I like it. Let's just go back to the Logitech just for comparison. I think Logitech are a pretty good brand, actually. I think they do some pretty good things. They make some good keyboards. They are horrendously expensive, though, those pretty good keyboards. So, and they've been using their own switches, which are pretty good. But one thing I don't like about using own brand switches is the fact that you then getting replacement keycaps is super difficult for them. So, yeah, it does feel a lot heavier. A lot heavier. You wouldn't think that like 30 grams or whatever it is difference would like change a lot, but I'm actually really looking forward to getting this XTRFY on a desk and playing with it there, because I think that would be a really nice experience to do. As I said, for everyday use, this has been brilliant. If you're looking for, and you're like, I need a wireless mouse, I need something that is decent but is not too expensive, the G703 I think is a really good option for you. But it's significantly heavier than a wired mouse. You obviously just get certain benefits from it. I don't actually know if I've got the weight in the bottom. Let me have a look. I can't remember. I think I did actually. Yeah, I do actually have the weight in the bottom, which obviously does add to it a little bit. But I'll be honest with you. So you have a retractable weight in the bottom of the G703, which is 10 grams. It feels a little bit unbalanced if you don't have it in there. So it feels like the weight is shifted to the front of the mouse, which I don't particularly like too much. I either want it to be nicely balanced. Yeah, I think anyway, you want it to be kind of quite nicely balanced. The weight to be kind of even distributed around. And it does feel like that when you put the weight in the back. But again, you have the issue where it then gets 110 grams, so that's 40 grams plus difference is quite noticeable on there. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we're coming to with that. Very happy actually with the purchase. Feels really nice. I'm going to look forward to it when I get everything finally set up and properly done and dusted on my in my office and stuff like that. Fingers crossed that all goes smoothly. But yeah, very happy with this purchase. Actually, it's a really nice mouse. Till next time, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.